So I put out a Instagram story that asking you guys, those of you on my Instagram, this is gonna be on Instagram and YouTube, so but I put out an Instagram story asking should I do a walk around video of my 2000 Jeep Cherokee, and blown up, yes I should. I think I had 2 people that said no. They weren't following me, so I don't care, but a lot of you guys said yes, and a lot of you guys actually said you'd rather have it on Instagram than YouTube. I am going to post it on both, but I will generally make a lot more references to Instagram than I will YouTube, just because. Before I actually get going, I want to shout out 3 companies, none of which are sponsoring me, but they're companies that I believe in, and they're companies that are actually represented in the build that I've done on my 2000 Jeep Cherokee. The first of which is actually on my hat, workforitapparel.com. They're also on Instagram, workforitapparel. D-Max Rhino runs that. He drives a beautiful Denali. Shouting out those guys. I love what he stands for in his company and what he's built it to be. Second company is actually 4x4 America. He sold these. These are awesome. They've helped me a lot in the coronavirus situation. Here in Michigan, you got to wear masks everywhere, so this is come in handy. 4x4 America on the Instagrams, and I'm gonna tag everyone who I kind of shout here in this beginning. And also 9 Lines. If you don't know who 9 Lines are, look them up. They're an awesome company, and again, it's someone that I've kind of tried to reflect in the build that I've been doing. Not necessarily reflect their company, but just reflect also things that they believe in that I also believe in, which is being patriotic, caring about veterans, and so forth. So without further ado, here is my 2000 Jeep Cherokee. I want to go over mainly, first of all, I'm going to go over the things that I did right after I got it, because I bought it completely stock. All of that which you are seeing pretty much has been done, or has been touched at least a little bit. So starting off, I mean, just general maintenance stuff. When I got it, I had to do U-joints and ball joints in the front end, all stock steering components underneath. As you can see, just stock steering. A transmission cooler, I believe. Don't have that. All stock steering. The front end is the Dana 30, the rear end is a Chrysler 8 1/4. Steering stabilizer is just an OEM replacement. Nothing fancy there. Coming up, literally we're just gonna walk through, I guess. We'll do it this way. We'll walk through just as I go. Front bumper is the JCR front bumper with the LED pod cutouts. I opted for this one because I do trail my Jeep. I use this vehicle. It's my daily. It's also my trail vehicle. So having good quality tow points with the frame tie-in brackets was a big deal to me. So kind of needed that. So I did that. I went with those bumpers. I got to pick them up. I was actually looking at them online, and then actually somebody local to me had a front and rear bumper for, I believe it was $800 or $900, so I picked those up on the spot like that. So I love those bumpers. As you can see, I did I mean, this is just a rattle can job. It's all dirty, nothing's clean. I wanted to show you guys like just kind of the basic of my vehicle, and that's not shiny and pretty. It's dirty. But as you can see, I did rattle can it to make it the color match. From far away it does look a lot better, but when you get up close, it's not exact, but it's close enough. These are the, I believe they're called Bear Claw LEDs, bought off Amazon. Plug and play, super simple. I believe they cost me $30 for the set. This is my second pair. My last ones lasted me about 2.5 years, so I'm expecting those continue to last me. Moving on to the side here, these are 33, 12.5, 15 Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax. I do have a spacer, or an adapter really, on the inside of the wheel, because these wheels are 5x5.5. And if you know Cherokees, the bolt pattern is 5x4.5. So I have two, I believe it's 2.5-inch adapters, 5x4.5 to 5x5.5 on all four. So I am running those. The suspension is the Zone Off-Road 4.5-inch lift kit, non-adjustable control arms with full leafs in the rear. So I didn't do an add a leaf, I did a full leaf spring kit on this because the OEM springs, if you have a Cherokee, I mean, the last year they made them was 2001, so if you have a Cherokee, you know the springs are old. They're gonna be flattened or they're gonna be cracked, and it's just really not a good idea to do add a leafs when you can just replace them. So if you have the money, go ahead and replace them. If they're still good, I'd say, you know, go for it, but personally, I went with a full leaf for my 4.5-inch kit. The 4.5 inches got me able to clear the 33s. They do rub a little bit. Right in here, as you can see, it's kind of beat up right there. The tires reflect that. They do rub full tilt, but it's not too bad. Brake lines are that of a Chevy 1500. If you Google brake lines that are compatible with the XJs, that's what this is a Jeep Cherokee XJ. You can find there's a Chevy 1500 or something like that that fits them. It's for like 6.5 to 8.5 inches of lift. But I just went with it because why not? I went with the extra longs just because I could. Moving back, the Work For It sticker, like I said, I wanted to shout them out because I like this company. It's a great company. The American flag decal, I love this. I'd wanted one of these for a really long time. These are for sale on eBay, actually. I don't make these. Somebody here local in Michigan makes them, out of Detroit, I believe. He made these, so I slapped that on there. I love that to death. And then the Run Mud sticker is 4x4 America. As you can see, I mean, like I said, I do use this vehicle. It is beat up. It's not pretty. I do need to replace this housing. This is the second time I'll ever replace this housing because, you know, sometimes trees just get in the way. Moving to the rear end, again, we have the JCR rear bumper with the LED cutouts with the heavy duty tow feature there, or well, I don't know what you want to call it, recovery points. I do have those with frame tie-in brackets as well. With the hitch up here, I did have to remove the stock hitch, which actually came out when I had a bunch of body work done, and I'll get to that in a second. So really awesome, super thick. I have my flagpole here that I bought from a guy out of Michigan that slides into the hitch, so it works really well. My audio equipment, so I actually get crap for my audio setup because people say, you know, oh, it's too heavy to go on trails and blah blah blah. I do take these subwoofers with me when I am out on trails. This is in here. It's not held down, but when I do trails, see I got a ratchet strap in here, I will ratchet strap them down. These are two Rockford Fosgate T1s. It's the older model, not the newer ones, so it's not rated for like 2,000 watts, I believe is what the new ones are. These are like 900 a piece. T1s. It is on a Scar Audio 2001D. I know that's really hard to see, but 2001D monoblock amplifier. It's really loud. It does really well. Hello there. Well, this guy, I guess, is gonna stop next to me. Like I had mentioned, I did do a bunch of body work on this. When I had got this Jeep, again, bone stock, lift kit, tires, everything came after. These were completely rotted out. You'd actually stick a hand in there. So I had to pick up from, I think it was Quadratech. I picked it up. They had the replacement quarter panels for that. So I picked that replacement quarter panel up, and then I had an auto body friend of mine do the work to get those on to make them look nice and pretty. And then he did this little custom feature so that way when I'm throwing mud and salt and everything, it's not just caking into the wheel well exactly. It actually clears it a little better. As you can see, I still got to do rockers, which is fine, no big deal there. Interior wise, I mean stock interior, these are the tan with the wood trim out of a 97 or 98, I believe. They were rust-free doors, and mine also, along with the quarter panels being completely rusted out, the doors were completely rusted out. You could stick fingers through, you could touch the speaker that's in the door. So that came off of that. Moving in, close that. I do have a CB mounted to the top here, headliner, saggy, regular XJ thing. But I do have that CB there with my mic mounted here. I drive with it this way, disconnected, and then when I actually go out on trails and I do use it, I do have that there. That is my CB antenna. Way too big, but I like it like that. So this would just plug in right there, bada bing, bada boom, twist in, it's awesome. I am running the Cobra 19 Plus. I don't have any recommendations for CBs. Don't ask me, this one was free, so I picked it up. And that was just that. Head unit in typical Cherokee fashion. There is no mount for the radio just yet. I'm still working on that. I do have the switch for the rear LEDs right here, and then the switch for the front LEDs down in this little spot here. It worked out really well. Bass knob is over there for the subwoofers. And yeah, I mean, that's really it for the interior. I do want to show the speakers. Those were cheap. I think I spent $60, $50 on those from a kind of pawn shop type of deal. They were already open. They were brand new when I bought them, but they were already, the box was already open. They had sold them and then they got returned. That's my screen already. Got returned, so I picked those up for cheap. Under the hood. So give me a second here. Like I said, I want to show you guys everywhere my Cherokee's at. I like to kind of pride myself in the fact that I'm not above where I'm at. So you're gonna see a rat's nest in here, and that's in the progress. This whole thing is a build project. Obviously the rockers are shot and I need to replace those. You know, everything's kind of a project, and so you're gonna see a rat's nest, and that's fine. Underneath the hood, things I've replaced the power steering pump, the thermostat I've replaced twice. The water pump has been replaced, and then obviously regular maintenance of doing spark plugs and whatnot there. I also replaced this, what was it, the water pump inlet tube. Replaced that because I had a crack in it about a year ago. I got, as you can see, this is nice and shiny. This is the new AC compressor. I am currently in the process of doing a full AC job on this, so that will be in the works very, very soon. I'm just trying to get a couple odds and ends buttoned up before I do that. And then we move over to the electrical, which is the rat's nest that you see here. So this is all getting cleaned up potentially within the week. But like I said, I want to show you guys everything the way it sits. So we have 2 grounds for the LED pods, 2 powers for the LED pods. I also have a positive for the, which I know it's black, but positive for the CB radio is connected here, and the negative is up on the top there. As you can see, I'm running heavy duty 0 gauge for the subwoofers on a fuse. I forget how many amps the fuse is, but it's a very, very large fuse. Way good on the fuse. For the 2001D monoblock amp from Scar Audio, they recommend this wiring kit right there, the 1 gauge high performance Scar Audio kit. They recommend this kit, so I bought that kit. I just kind of went with it. Fuse holder, all the wires running up. In the future, I would like to do a Thor, which is Trailhead Off-Road intake, which will actually relocate that intake box right there into here. You like cut a hole and everything goes in there, so that way I can run a dual battery setup. Being that I have the subwoofer amp, the subs in general, I have the pods and everything, I have a lot of power draw coming out. A bigger amp or a bigger alternator and a dual battery setup wouldn't be a bad idea. I also want to overland this vehicle, so hitting trails for the sake of adventuring is something I'm really into, so I want to be able to do that. So having dual battery setup wouldn't be a bad idea. So I can run a dual battery setup and clean up some of the gross looking wires. I mean, it's a rat's nest, and I know it, but I wanted to show you guys the rat's nest because I think it's important that we acknowledge where our builds are at when we're building them. And I don't want to seem like I don't know, I know a lot of people who are younger, who are on Instagram, on YouTube, who are looking at building a vehicle such as this, And so I want to make it kind of look, you know, not everyone can do everything at once. Sometimes you got to do it piece by piece. So sometimes you got rat's nest. I do get asked about the windows a lot. This is 5% window tint on all the sides, the hatch, and then obviously the other sides. The windshield is 20%. It's very dark, but that is kind of what I went for. Yeah, this is my build. Nothing fancy going on underneath the undercarriage as far as exhaust systems. I'm just running an OEM replacement exhaust with no catalytic converter. If you're in California, that's a big deal, but oh well, I'm not in California, so that's good. So nothing really fancy there. That's my build, guys. That's it. Super simple. The 4.5-inch lift on 33s is actually a very, 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 very common lift kit and tire combo setup for these. I do need to trim this in the future so that way I can get full range of motion. And actually I want to show this in the course of this video. I noticed that guy, that's new. That's not good, but whatever. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys just kind of where it's at. Like I said, I put it out on the Instagram. So if you're not following my Instagram, if you're finding this on YouTube, the Instagram is Bruce the Shark XJ, Bruce _ the _ shark _ XJ. I'll leave a link on YouTube to the Instagram for this Jeep build. So you can maybe, if you want to follow along and everything, you can do that. One more thing, and then I'm gonna get off of this. All of these doors, you'll notice these front doors have a little sag in them. So these, all 4 doors are removable. There is a kit made by, I believe it's No Doors XJ on Instagram. But I did it myself and it worked out pretty good. So these are all replaceable pins, so that way I can take all the doors off and drive full no doors. But yeah, that is the build. That is the setup that I'm running. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was worth your while. I know it's a longer video, but I wanted to kind of cover everything really in depth so that it could be seen. Thanks for watching, and make sure you follow those people I mentioned in the beginning of the video, and give me a follow on Instagram too if you wouldn't mind. Later.